Welcome to Politics Done Right. My name is Egberto Willis, your host. Good morning, Houston. Good morning, Harris County. Good morning, Texas. Good morning, the United States of America. Good morning, the world. I did it. Anyhow, folks, how are all my peeps doing this morning? We are going to have a great show for you today. We have quite a bit to cover, but before we get started, to the control room we go, to those two real smart guys.
We're still looking for them. Jack, have you seen two smart guys around here?
No, they left 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. Good morning, Egberto. How are you
Good
this morning?
morning. We're
What's
doing
going
just
on?
fine. We're doing great. We're doing great. Today is another short day of fun drive, but as usual, we're going to be giving good content. Prepared some good stuff for you. Let me tell you, folks, stick with us. Don't run away. We have a lot to talk about, but we want you to do something, and that is, but before we get into all of this, let's go to El Señor Van Beber for the word of the morning.
Here we go.
Good morning, Egberto.
Buenos días, mi hermano favorito.
Okay, this is a little comment on the evangelical thing you're going to do. Of course, Jesus was a liberal, member of the Zealots, fighting Roman occupation, got himself in trouble with Pontius Pilate for the incident with the money changers. That subversive Jesus was a liberal. Ladies, this is the reason they attack your women's reproductive rights is the evangelical vote. Get that one.
All right.
That's
The word
certainly
of
a
the
word
day.
for the day.
Yes, it is a word for the day.
The word for the day: radical Jack.
Hey, RJ, Radical Jack. I like that. Anyway, what's up, Howard?
Well, I am very excited, Egberto. We're announcing the fact that we're going to be on location next Tuesday morning at Black Hole Coffee. We're going to do a remote from there. We're doing your show from there. You will be there. I will be there. But unfortunately, poor Jack's going to be back here, twisting the knobs and turning everything. So we'll bring you some coffee. How about that, Jack?
Decaf.
Okay, decaf, he says. But it's going to be a very exciting time. We're going to be doing You Talk from there, too, also. So it's going to be an exciting time. We're showing our face in public again. So it's really going to be cool.
I think it's going to be great. So don't forget, hold the date. It's got get out there at what is it? It's about 6:30. They should be out there, or 6 o'clock. Which one is should they be out there?
They open the doors at 6:30. They're going to let us in early because we got a bunch of stuff to bring in and set up.
Hey, well, folks, we're going to be there, and we'd love to meet you out there at Black Hole Coffee. Come and sit down in the chair. Let's have a chat. Let's tell everybody, hey, this is KPFT, and this is what real community radio is all about. We're in the community. But anyway, before I get started with the show, folks, remember, like I said, we have a full show for you, so don't go away. But we need to go ahead and ask you for a few pelotas, a few pennies, a few centavos, right?
Some shekels, please, because community radio is now in Fund Drive. And we know everybody hates Fund Drive. We hate it too. We wish we didn't need money, but we do. So what you can do, the Summer Sizzle t-shirt, 2 colors this time around. Our very own Jill Morgenstern designed this thing, and it's really pretty cool. You want to talk about a hot summer? We got flames all over the front of this thing. It's a $100 pledge for a t-shirt. You may think, well, $100 for a t-shirt, that's pretty high. But the proceeds benefit your community radio station, KPFT. We also have other things, too, that we can pass along to you. Or maybe you just don't want anything. You just want to support your community radio station. Become a sustainer. A monthly payment, 99 cents a day, not bad at all. You can support KPFT in being a sustainer, or you can get a one-time thing for a t-shirt, which is really pretty cool. Or Egberto has something special for you. What's that, Egberto? What do you have special for us?
Let's go get a personal coffee, and we sit down and chat whatever you want to chat about. And for that, it is just a $250 contribution. I know we get some high rollers out there that says, you know what, I want to go ahead and help this station, etc. Let's go get a cup of coffee, $250. I don't think it's on the menu on the website yet, but if you go to the website now and just when it asks you for how much you want to contribute, just put $250, and Robin will be sure to set you up, given that it's for Politics Done Right, set you up for a coffee with Egberto, and we'll go out there and we'll have fun. And I tell you what, you can ask Jack. We go out and we shoot the bull, and we have some great, insightful conversations. It's fun. Let's do it, man. $250, and we go have some coffee. And I tell you what else, you can also give $100 for the T-shirt. That, in addition to the Summer Sizzle T-shirt, we have the Politics Done Right T-shirt. That one is on the website right this minute. But you know what? You can just go ahead and say, I want to give $50. I want to give $25. I want to give $100. You can do whatever you want. Remember to put it for Politics Done Right. But we do, in order for these programs to stay on air, the programs that stay on air are the programs that keep the station viable, meaning the programs that says we can be here to give the people what they want. So I ask you so kindly, I'm about to get into the show, but I ask you so kindly to call now, 713-526-5738, hit extension number 1, and give whatever you can. Alternatively, you can go to kpft.org and select the donate button, and you can set up however you want to give us, either one time. I would love $5 a month. I would love $10 a month. And when I say it's not going to Egberto at all. I don't get a penny from the station. I don't get a penny from the station. It's for community radio to stay alive. So please go ahead and call 713-526-5738, hit extension 1, and provide us with whatever you have the ability to give. As far as if you want to go and do it online, kpft.org, hit the donate button. So give whatever you can. I would love a sustainer. I would love sustainers. $5 a month, $10 a month. You don't feel that. And the reason why, you go and you get a coffee, you go get a latte, you go and get all these things to support other businesses, which it's a good thing. I ask you so kindly, if you think we are doing a good job, please consider becoming a sustainer as well. One time is fine. Sustainer is fine. 713-526-5738. I want to make one other pitch, and it goes like this. You pay a lot of money for your cable, for those of you who have cable. You pay a lot of money for all kinds of entertainment, YouTube TV or Hulu or all of that. A lot of these things, good stuff, right? But you also pay for folks who misinform you. You pay for folks who aren't necessarily accurate with you. The one promise you have out of here, the one promise you have Politics Done Right on KPFT is I'll do my utter best to be honest. I'll do my utter best to be respectful. I'll do my utter best to bring you content that you can use, make your life different, make you more aware, make you more woke, make you, again, that's the whole goal. And if you think we need more stations, more programs doing that, I ask you kindly again to call 713-526-5738, hit extension number 1, and somebody will be there to speak to you, or go to kpft.org and donate online. I'll call you out if you don't call me out online. As I have the screen up that I can see as donations are made. From yesterday, I need to give a big shout out to Richard Hall.
Yay!
And Mike. Yeah, absolutely. Yay! Exactly. A big shout out. I also have to give a big shout out to Mike Franklin. So folks, we can't do this without you. You have to be the one sustaining what we do. And as far as yours truly here, there's several hours that go into this every day of the week to produce this program, because it's a passion. It's a passion. It's a care for country. It's a care for community. And when you see Howard out there, when you see Van Beber out there doing these things, burning their gas, doing all of that, because we are of the community, we are by the community, and we ask the community to do a part for us to be able to continue to do this. 713-526-5738, extension number 1, or kpft.org. Okay, title of the show today. And again, I ramble a little bit in the beginning to tell you how you can listen to the show. So while I'm doing that, you can go ahead and call right now. And in fact, we have a, let's see, I think we have a contribution already. Thank you very much. Let's see if I can, it doesn't say not to read the name, so I can read the name. Gonzalo Rodriguez, muchísimas gracias por su contribución. Thank you so kindly for your contribution, my brother Gonzalo. Please, folks, please continue to do so. I need to throw it to Howard for a minute. Come on in, Howard.
Egberto, you hit on something I just wanted to have a brief comment on. You talk about it's a passion for you. It's a passion for all of our programmers. They come in here and they want to entertain you. They want to inform you, but they can't do it without a donation. 713-526-5738. Hit number 1, make that donation. Maybe even become a sustainer if you can afford it. If you can't, just make a one-time donation. 713-526-5738, extension 1, or go to kpot.org. Now back to you.
Thank you, my brother. And muchas gracias, Gonzalo. Thank you so kindly, Gonzalo. Anyhow, folks, title of the show today is Evangelicals Think Jesus is Liberal. Newsmax deodorizes after Trump. Theft by plutocrat. I don't know if I'm going to get to theft by plutocrat. That's a little piece that I rant that I gave yesterday on my 3 o'clock show that I said, you know what? My KPFT brethren needs to hear this as well. But we'll see how it goes. If you guys keep calling that phone and giving a contribution, you know what happens, man? We can have more content and let's pitch in. Anyway, folks, please remember there are many ways to get to the program, but I'm going to shorten it today. Download the Android, the TuneIn app from Android and search for KPFT. Go to kpft.org, click the listen button. Go to facebook.com/KPFT Houston, and you can watch us. Go to politicsdoneright.tv, and you watch us on YouTube Live. I want to welcome Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain. Thank you so kindly for being here in the chat. We welcome folks in the chat. We welcome folks on air. We welcome folks everywhere. Anyhow, folks, title of the show is Evangelicals Think Jesus is Liberal. Evangelicals have drifted away from Jesus. Newsmax deodorizes with a disclaimer after interviewing Trump. You know, it's like Trump went on TV, and after we give him the interview, we have to pass out the Pine Sol. We have to pass out the Clorox. You know why they got to do it? They got to do it because they don't want to get sued. So it happened. So that's the second story. The third story is the debt. Credit card debt is through the roof. You know, people have been speaking about the economy is doing great, which it is, but people are spending more because the plutocrats are taking their money. And then what happens? They are now putting all that money. They're keeping their spending constant, but it's going on the credit card. And you know what? You know when spending ends? Spending ends when the composite total of your savings, your income, and your credit, when you max out on what that total adds up to, that's when you get a crash. That is when everything slows down. The idea is to make sure that your credit is just a buffer to take a few bumps out, right? And I tell you, after we do that, we need an economy that can actually do that. We can do that, folks. We can do that. So I see some calls coming in. I'm going to take the calls and then go to the clip on Jesus being a liberal. So as soon as they get that prep, we'll bring that in. But anyhow, folks, while I prep for that call that's about to come in, I want to say Respect America 2 is in the house. And he said, I am Mr. Communist. You can call me whatever you want to call me. It won't hurt my feelings, as long as you also point out that the only thing that I want, my brother, Respect America number 2, is I want what's good for you, what's good for me, what's good for Melanie Keelan, what's good for Howard, what's good for Van Beber, because that's what I believe in. So you can label me however you want, as long as you know that what I want is what's best for all of us. What is best for all of us, because that's what it's all about. So let's go ahead and get Gonzalo on the phone. I want to thank Gonzalo personally since he's given a call in. ¿Cómo estás, mi amigo Gonzalo?
Good morning, Egberto. How are you today?
I am doing fine, and thank you for putting tu dinero where your mouth is. Thanks for putting where your money where your mouth is, my brother. Thank you so kindly. How you doing this
That, my
morning?
friend, and if that is just a humble contribution to keep you on in the air. I think it's important for us to have a KPFT for many reasons. But going back to your question, I have another question for you.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Churches are as numerous as McDonald's and all the trash food that we sell today in Houston metropolitan area. So I'm just referring to Houston, okay? It can be nationwide, but I want to refer only for Houston. So my question to everybody is, why there are so many beggars and people who claim that evangelical churches are liberal, but they are also Christians? Why don't they take care of people in need? Because that's what the Bible says. That's what the New Testament says. That's what Jesus Christ did. He just mingled and hang out with the poor and the people in need. So what are they talking about?
Well, can I give a quick answer to that, Gonzalo? And it goes
Yeah.
like this. First of all, I have noticed churches, not all, because the church that my wives go to, they're trying to do things for the homeless. They have funds that they go ahead and they help out there, they go feed, etc. But there are some churches that make it seem that having a hard time being homeless is something that you put on yourself. It's a deficiency of yours. It's not a socioeconomic issue. Look, there are times that people's undisciplinedness have created the homeless situation, but a compassionate person says, how can we rehabilitate you if that is what caused it? But there are other reasons that people are homeless. There are families living in cars because of what the system has done to them right now. So you hit the nail on the head with a church on every corner in Houston and around the country. Why is it that there aren't organizations who make it their mission, as Jesus' mission was, to really aid the least of us? Gonzalo, you nailed it.
Also, when it comes the time to, catastrophe, for example, I have nothing against Joel Osteen. I think he's a great preacher.
He's a very good
Uh,
motivational speaker.
exactly. Let's say that way. I was really astonished when the flooding came in 2017, I guess. I don't
Yes, it
remember
was.
very well.
Harvey, yes.
Churches open to the people who lost everything. For some reason, he didn't open his mega church. I'm not trying to put the finger on him. I think many did, and we cannot say that all evangelicals are the same. Actually, as you said, there are organizations that give to the poor, and they care. They do their best to just lessen the impact of that in the society. But unfortunately, it's growing. In my humble opinion, I don't think it's only a major task. I think that the mayor of Houston is the main person in charge and needs to tackle that immediately. Otherwise, this is going to become a second San Francisco. I don't go often to downtown, but I went to pick up somebody at the Houston Ballet. And if you go around the corner, you can see more than 60 people sleeping right there, And
Gonzalo, I came into the studio a few weeks ago, several months ago actually, and I saw what was all those people living under the bridge. I mean, Houston is full of people that are homeless. So you're absolutely right. Now let me tell you something else. Okay, I think if we were to do things quite a bit differently, we could solve the problem. But Gonzalo, let you go for now. Remember, this is your show. Call in as you will. But I want to cover two things. One thing that's on the chat, and then I want to do this quick video before we go back to a very short pitch. Okay, my brother, and thank you so kindly for your contribution.
Have a nice day and happy weekend.
Thank you, brother. All right, folks. Let me handle. Eric Hayes is in the house as well as Respect America and Melanie Keelan. I want to this show. We modify this show as you call in and change the subject. And Respect America is somebody. I mean, I think he likes to troll us, but I think it's an important troll. He says it's cultural. When he says I'm a communist, and he says the cultural mindset. Your well-being is your personal responsibility. And Melanie Keelan then says we must have some financial literacy, which is very true, which we don't teach in school, but we want everybody to be financial literate, right? If we were financial literate, we would ask ourselves some special questions about our economic system, but I'm going to put that on hold for a second because he also says, I told you Egberto is a communist. So there's this rugged individualism. There is this rugged individualism that a lot of people on the right like to speak about, right? That this rugged individualism is good. What they don't tell you is this rugged individualism only works after you have made it, or after you have inherited something, or after you have gotten a good break in life. And what I mean is the following. This rugged individualism doesn't work if you are sitting down listening to me right now in your car, and you're driving to work, and you have to go to work every single day, and you are barely making it. And then you hear about this rugged individualism, and then you hear about these people on the streets who are asking for money while you are driving in your car to work. You have they have a psychological manner in which they speak to you to let you know. And when I say they, I'm talking about society at large, to tell you, look at you. You're heading to work. You are busting your butt to work while that beggar is taking food stamps, while that person is on the street asking. And that infuriates you because you are going to work. Hey, brothers, let me tell you, when my business was flying before I left it to do this, the amount I paid in taxes, when I see somebody on the street, there was some time that I was thinking, I work 16 hours a day. I'm still working 16 hours a day. I'm just not getting paid for it. But I work 16 hours a day, and that guy is on the street. And there is a time that, as liberal or progressive that I am, that sometimes that feeling would hit the heart, right? Until I taught myself that, wait a minute. It is a game. It is a game. Those of you, that secretary, that janitor that is going to work in these buildings downtown, they're going to give you $7.25 an hour. They're going to give you $10 an hour. They're going to give you $12 an hour to keep them comfortable, right? And for that $10 or $12 or $15 or $16 an hour that you're making, you have two kids, and you have to get your two kids in daycare, and you have to buy that expensive gasoline that doesn't have to be that expensive, but it is expensive because somebody said, I can take more money away from the working class and make more profit for my shareholders and a bigger bonus for me. But they're only getting $16 an hour, right? And at the same time, I'm teaching you, hey, but you're going to work. You're going to work. And that guy's sitting his butt down. And you are in pain going to work because what? Because that's the way you think things are supposed to work. And you hate that guy who's on the street begging because it's called rugged individualism. You are rugged individualists making it the hard way. But the guy at the top of the mountain, the guy at the top of the house, the guy at the top of that skyscraper that you're cleaning for $16 an hour, for $10 an hour, he is making orders of magnitude more than you. What do I mean by orders of magnitude? He may be making $500 an hour. He may be getting a bonus of several $1,000s every single year. His bonus is larger than your entire yearly salary. Few people are doing that. The problem in America today is people don't understand the obscene wealth that goes to the top on your backs. and they don't see the dissension that we create among the working class, fighting among each other for the crumbs that they let down. And then you have people whose mind have been so convinced, like my friend here on the chat that says it's a cultural mindset. Your well-being is your personal responsibility. It sounds good. It sounds good if we had an equitable society, which we do not. So my friend, repeat America too, who calls me a communist. Please call me whatever you can, whatever you want to. But do understand that the only thing I'm fighting for is for an egalitarian society where the working class is paid its due. Because everything earned by Bill Gates, everything earned by Elon Musk, everything earned by Warren Buffett, everything earned by every billionaire you revere, they didn't get it because of rugged individualism. They got it because of socialism. You are a part of the social fabric, and they took a piece of everything you have ever made and they turned it into something called profit. Excess labor is profit. And I have nothing wrong with profit. I believe in profit. But excess profit, you have to understand when Melanie Keelan is in the chat saying financial literacy. And I say, yes, Melanie, my dear friend, my American friend in Barcelona, Spain, says American financial literacy. Understand the financial literacy. Understand that when you are making $16 an hour for corporate America, that person that you are making sure their building smells nice, they are making many more times what you're making. To tell people like you, to tell people who are cleaning the tanks in Pasadena, Texas, putting their lives at risk. Remember, they're sitting in a well-cleaned office by you as the workers in Pasadena, Texas, as the workers all over the place. Profit, don't make the profit that they are making. Individualism? Rugged individualism doesn't exist. It's a nice phrase. You know, personally speaking, when I had Willie's computer software company working, 16 hours a day, writing the code, writing the manuals, writing everything. And you know what the corporate guys who made the competent software did? They had others who did it. Paid them pennies from around the world. And then they talk about rugged individualism when we talk about pay what's due. So brothers and sisters, the reason I would love for you to keep Politics Done Right on air, the reason I beg that you make sure that we are here is because we must be here. I want to thank Susan. Let's see if she has any restrictions on what I can say. I don't see any restrictions that says don't say a lot. So Susan Reinhardt, thank you so kindly for supporting Politics Done Right with your kind contributions. We need more. We need more. Because the only way we are going to ensure that most Americans understand your worth to this society. This economy doesn't exist without the garbage man. This economy does not exist without the plumber. This economy does not exist without any of these things. But before I ramble a bit longer, I want to ask you, 713-526-5738. Una vez más, por favor, 713-526-5738. 713-526-5738. Hit extension 1. Please support our station, the program. I promise to bring you truth. I promise to bring you not spin. There's no point in spinning a KPFT listener. 713-526-5738. 713-526-5738. Let me go ahead and play our wonderful evangelicals that Gonzalo spoke about. Where are you to really help those that are right around the corner from you? Where are you? Where are you? We've been pointing out for some time now the complicity of the evangelical church in destroying this country via a charlatan like Trump. And this piece, I think nails it. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll take it on the other side.
A former top official for the Southern Baptist Convention is sounding the alarm on the state of evangelical Christianity in America. In an interview with NPR, the editor-in-chief of Christianity Today, Russell Moore, declared Christianity in the U.S. to be in, quote, crisis, and warned that conservative Christians are now rejecting the teachings of Jesus as, quote, liberal talking points. Take a listen.
Well, it was the result of having multiple pastors tell me essentially the same story about quoting the Sermon on the Mount parenthetically in their preaching. Turn the other cheek. To have someone come up after and say, where did you get those liberal talking points? And what was alarming to me is that in most of these scenarios, when the pastor would say, I'm literally quoting Jesus Christ, the response would not be, I apologize. The response would be, yes, but that doesn't work anymore. That's weak. And when we get to the point where the teachings of Jesus himself are seen as subversive to us, then we're in a crisis.
Well, and we are in a crisis, those of us that grew up in the evangelical church, because the radicalism of Jesus was, and what the Romans didn't understand about Jesus and what the world didn't understand about Jesus, Gene Robinson was, that what he saw it was the antithesis of power. Exactly. When asked about the government and taxes, he's like, render unto Caesar that which is of Caesar, and to God that which is God. He had nothing to do with the government. And David French has talked about this. You look at Easter. Easter's a perfect example of that. And the teachings of the church have been twisted beyond recognition with church members and some pastors pushing one lie after another lie after another lie about Jesus and twisting and contorting his words, his gospel, even the Sermon on the Mount.
Yes, this is, I think the technical term for this is blasphemy. This is blasphemous. This is simply wrong. Jesus was was seen as a mortal threat to that sort of authoritarian power. And the idea that people can call themselves evangelical Christians and yet not just fail to live according to the words of Jesus, but outright reject the words of Jesus, reject what Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount and in his other teachings is just astounding to me. I don't understand. I don't see how that is possible, and I think that is not possible. I think they are not evangelical Christians if they reject the words of Jesus. That simply is that can't be.
Claire?
Yeah, I would talk about a weird moment. I'll tell you when it crystallized for me. There has been no one who has been more representative of the evangelical movement in politics than Mike Pence. Now think about this scenario. He is in front of an evangelical crowd in Iowa. I mean, these are the people that live their life through the church, the evangelical church. He comes out and is booed. Consistently and constantly booed. And this man has done nothing but just cleave to the evangelical church throughout his career in the way he has voted, in the way he has held office. And they booed him. They didn't boo him because he doesn't believe in Jesus. They didn't boo him because he doesn't understand the Beatitudes. They booed him because he had the nerve to follow the Constitution. And that just shows you how far down the rabbit hole the evangelical movement has gone.
Imagine this. A preacher preaching the words of Jesus Christ, and folks in the pew comes to the preacher and says, wait a minute, why are you using liberal talking points? Why are you using progressive talking points? And then the pastor tells the guy, oh no, that is straight out of the Bible. And instead of the guy apologizing and say, oh my God, I'm sorry, where have we erred? We need to redeem ourselves. It's like, well, that don't work anymore. In other words, we're not really Christians. Christianity don't work anymore. We believe in the evil. We believe in we believe in cutting somebody's throat, like DeSantis said. We believe in putting barriers up at the border to slice people as they try to come over to our country. We believe in making sure they dry out and die in the desert. We believe in throwing them to the wolves. That's what we believe, because that guy Jesus, the father of Christianity, nah, that's too easy now. So we are evangelical Christians. We are not Jesus Christians. Oh my God. But you know what? That is what they've become. And I hate to be that harsh, but when you have a country where people were starving at one time, and folks come back that way, what else can you say? And you do it with a smile, and you support the God of who supports that kind of a policies. Donald Trump, you support that God that supports that, and you lay hands on that God. I'm coming to you, Johnny and Jimmy, in a second. Let me just do a quick pitch here. Folks, please call 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to support the program. I want to thank Susan Reinhardt, Gonzalo Rodriguez, Richard Hall, Mike Franklin from yesterday. Thank you guys so kindly for supporting Politics Done Right on KPFT. Please call 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to support the program. And please go to kpft.org if you prefer to do it that way, and support online. Please do remember to select Politics Done Right as the program. We have a quota to meet for the program, and only you can ensure that we stay here. Eric Hayes says, your bashing here comes across as bashing religious people. My wife is a deacon at a Protestant church. I do not bash religious people. I call out religious people who decide that they have chosen. They're using religion to get a tax break. They're using religion to seem like they are good people, but they are using religion but those who use religion to hurt people, that is my responsibility. Understand that, Brother Hayes. That is my responsibility to call things out. You get a platform, that is what you do. If I'm not doing that, take me off. Because we are responsible for our brothers and sisters, sir. We are. Let me throw it to Howard before I go to Johnny to see if Howard needs to say anything. Howard?
Okay, I was sitting here taking in all of what they were saying. The Bible says that this will happen in the end days. They'll start denying Christ. Oh, that doesn't work anymore. Christ only had one command to us: love one another.
Amen.
Take care of each other. That's it. And you're going to deny that? Come on, man. What are you thinking? That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, my brother. Let's go to Johnny. Come on in, Johnny. Sorry for keeping you holding, but we're in Fun Drive, but we're going to still have a show, but we're in Fun Drive. Talk to me, Johnny.
Religious individuals like that, Brother Hayes, I would say directly to that gentleman, if you are offended by the words you hear on this radio station, I would ask you, do you think that the Reverend Barber of the Poor People's Campaign, do you think that he would be offended at the topics that we discuss on this radio station? No, because he's a true believer in the teachings of Jesus Christ, as I am. And I don't even practice my Catholic religion anymore. It's not a question of whether I go to a building and compare clothing. It's not a question of if I get up and down in a pew and cross my face with my hand. All these symbols and stuff mean nothing if you actually are offended at Alberto's words. Let me ask you something. When Hillary Clinton, the hedge fund bunny, dressed up in her royal blue corporate pantsuit up on the debate stage with Donald Trump back in the day, when she admitted on national television that from time to time, capitalism, or I would say the capitalism that the way we practice it in this country, has to be rescued from time to time by socialism. You think that she was being, how should I say, sacrilegious? Huh? Or was he talking more like maybe Jesus was? The problem is when more and more people start to catch on to the idea that Jesus was and is a liberal and the original hippie, if you will, and you guys in organized religion get offended at that, then the question is whether you are a true Christian or not. You're pointing the finger at us, but I can point fingers back at you guys and have you guys ask yourself, are you in the tradition of Reverend Barber and MLK and Abraham Lincoln even? Or are you the problem? Are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem?
Johnny, I'm going to cut you right there for to get more people in and to do some more pitching. But I thank you. You're present as usual. Thank you very much for calling in, brother. You are part of this program.
One last thought. James Osteen and that mega church of his, he's closer to the guy who's offended than he is to the guy who's Reverend Barber.
Thank you, my brother. Let's go ahead and go to Jimmy. Come on in, Jimmy.
Good morning, Egberto, and happy Friday to everybody. My 2 cents worth about religion is that there is no God, there is no heaven, there is no hell. They are all imaginary. They are not real. There is no evidence that God has ever done anything or answered any prayers. Wake up, people. Look for evidence before you believe in God or heaven or hell. And I do love the Freedom from Religion Foundation. They're doing a great job of helping to educate people and fighting the government getting too religious and promoting various religions and so forth like that. So I do think it's good that people want to treat others with respect and with caring and with love and try to make a better world, do things every day to make a better world, like recycling, etc., and fighting for justice and freedom. And
thank you very much, Jimmy. I got to go to some other calls, so I want to thank you for calling in and being a part of our family here. But we're going to go to the other call, Donald. But before I go to Donald, by the way, thank you for your commentary. Let me tell you, I do want to tell folks my position on religion. Most importantly, I was born a Catholic. I became a Baptist, then I drifted into Maranatha when I got into college. And the only reason I left the church is because when we were marching for South Africa, the church did not come along with me. Now, I am in a whatever called house. I am a humanist now. My wife is a Christian. My daughter is a Christian. The reason I say that is I am a very tolerant person as far as whether you believe in God or not, whether you believe in heaven and earth or not. My beliefs is that I believe in things that I can see, and I do the things that I can to help other people, but I have 100% respect for everyone. But if you are going to be in a Christian religion, I expect you, just like you should expect me to do what's right, I expect you to do what's right. I want to also thank Josephine Salazar, muchísimas gracias. Thank you so kindly for your kind contributions to Politics Done Right. We simply cannot do it without you. I thank you so kindly for your contribution. Folks, please give us a call, 713-526-5738. Again, that number is 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 to give a donation, extension number 2 to come on air. Please hit that extension number 1 to give something to keep this program on air, or go to kpft.org, kpft.org. Give a donation. Please remember to say it's for Politics Done Right to ensure it is tallied appropriately, saying this show is bringing in what it needs to bring in to stay on air. Let's go to Brother Donald. Come on in, Donald.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Donald.
Okay, you struck a nerve for all these Americans out there. A motivational speaker, and I'm glad to see these people are seeing through the BS. because to me, Jesus was a badass. He went up against the Roman Empire, everything, and the Jews of the time, you know, and he was not there to change the laws of old. He was showing them a new way. So wherever you look at this, he was the opposition because they wanted to keep the oppression the way it was. And he was shedding light on it. And anybody that go into a tax table and flip it over in the temple, because the temple was set for worship, not tax collection or trade or whatever they were doing. So these people are just getting paid to stand up at these pulpits, and they're not there for the right reason. Vote them out, just like the politicians. Find a church that fits your needs. But
Donald.
I like to say that's why we're in America.
Donald, I love the way you describe them. You know, like I said, I'm a humanist, but I support all religions, right? But when you talk about that episode in Jesus's life, assuming the the history is accurate, anybody who goes into the bastions of business, they're conducting business in the temple, and he says, "Nah, that's not for today," and he throws everything up. Yeah, I think that is badass, as you just said. So I mean, I think you hit it there, and the thing about it is, doing good. Even in our society, I mean, the comparison is exactly what we are having in society now with the way they try to teach a false, rugged individualism, right? No, you got to buck the system. We got to stop training people to be evil. That is, look, most people that I know are great people. Everybody, I'm talking about every religion, every race, they are great people when you get to them one on one. It's amazing. When you get to the core of humanity, it's amazing how you care. It's amazing how, I'm not talking, but there are few of us that are what's known as psychopaths. The psychopaths, unfortunately, because of how we are made, we have a tendency to be led by psychopaths, So Donald, let me tell you.
I want to tell you something else. I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
start calling you Hall Parvey, because there's some more to that story, and I like it that you dig into it and find out in the way you present it. But that's it. Other than that, have a great day and keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna get you some money eventually. So
thank you, brother. I appreciate that. KPFT will love you. Thank you. All right, folks, 713-526-5738, 713-526-5738. I've got another video with Jamie Raskin, but I think it's a lot of stuff that it's just gonna reaffirm certain things that you know. So instead of playing that, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and talk to you guys who call in. And for those who are just kind of listening right now, ask you to call in 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Give a little something to keep us on air, or go to kpft.org. Please do remember to put it in the name of Politics Done Right so that it will be tallied appropriately to ensure. But we've got a good spot here being on 5 days a week. We have to earn earn being on 5 days a week to put out the message that you guys want to hear, the message that we know is important. So brothers and sisters, I beg of thee, support the program because the program supports you. We cannot do it without you. 713-526-5738, extension numero uno, extension number 1 to give a contribution. Please remember to select Politics Done Right as the program. Let's go to Brother Harry.
Good morning, Alberto.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias to you, too. I heard
Talk to me, Harry.
A few callers ago talking about how church doesn't work anymore. When I was at my Seventh-day Adventist church that I want you to come to when you have a chance, Fodron, Pastor Mackenzie Cambisi was talking about this very same thing, how church does not work anymore. And he put the question to us, and to that individual, is there a better way? Jesus wanted us all to share, practice sharing, and be fishermen of men and women, and just have a belief and love one another and come together. and that's what I try to do in my life, and I try to treat everybody the same, and that's what Jesus tries. That's what Jesus' work was all about.
Well, I want to make sure the reason, Harry, after my brother Jimmy spoke about, because I'm pretty sure Jimmy is, I don't want to say atheist, but, pretty secular. I wanted to let everybody know that I do not take positions on people's religions. I respect them all. And your church, if your pastor had the nerve to say what he said, it just means that he sees the reality of what many churches have become. It's not all. What many churches have become, nothing more than sources of income and capitalist structures. That's why they are, in fact, supporting capitalism at all costs. So it is important for people like you to come out and talk about your church that's doing well. I talk about my wife's church often, St. Luke Missionary Baptist. Well, it's now the Luke here in Humble. I have seen very little churches do so much for the community as Pastor Sloan does out here. And not only that, but working in all communities. He teamed up with a pastor here in Kingwood where they're trying to do things like racial healing and all of that. That is where churches are supposed to be, and that is what I support. Anyway, continue, Larry, before we go to the next one.
Harry. That is what our church. That is what our church does. Our church is a community giving church. We have people come out. We do a food drive every Wednesday. I used to go down there, but I can't make it down there. So they just I worked it out where they bring the food to my house.
They serve you. All right. Anyway, Harry, I got to go do a little bit more pitching because we're coming close to the end of the hour. Just want to thank you for calling in, and you keep listening, brother, and keep sharing. All right. Anyway, folks, give us a call, 713-526-5738. Don't forget, a $250 contribution, Coffee with Egberto. It's not yet on the website. Just go ahead and donate $250 at the website. And if you can, that is, if you can. And, set it up with Rob. Robin will set it up with you so that we can go ahead and have a coffee. And let me tell you something, folks. We can't do this without you. We are here to tell the truth. We are here to listen to you as well. As you can see, there are many different people that call into the program, many people that have various different viewpoints. I am of the belief that we all coexist because we share commonalities more so than not. Anyhow, let me jump to Howard to see if Howard has some things that he can say. Hey, here's another reason to donate to Politics Done Right for KPFT, and you can get this. Go ahead, Howard.
Well, another reason to donate to Politics Done Right is because I actually produce this show. I'm sitting behind the board every morning with you, Egberto, and I think that you do a very valuable job spreading the truth, no spin, no garbage, just the straight truth about the way things are. So, it cost us, well, I think Sandy will say that it costs us about $50,000 a month to operate this place. Electricity, tower rental, electronics, and all that sort of thing that we have to bring you the Egberto Show. And we do need funding for that. We need funding for all of our programs. But I tend to be a little partial to yours because I'm sitting behind the control board. So support Egberto. In fact, why don't you go ahead and sign up for that Coffee with Egberto? I think that'd be a lot of fun. I may do it myself. You never know.
Yay!
Yeah, we're gonna have coffee on Tuesday, live
Well,
remote.
the truth of the matter, man, is we have coffee every day. Sometimes virtual, sometimes real. Because I love you, man. This guy make things happen at this station. Call while I give some great praises to my brother here. I want you to call 713, please, 713-526-5738, 713-526-5738. Hit extension number 1 to contribute, or go to kpft.org and go ahead and contribute what you can. $100 for the Politics Done Right T-shirt, $100 for the Summer Sizzle T-shirt. Please, that's what we need to keep this stuff going open. But let me tell you something. When you have a station that is filled with old equipment, that is cobbled in a house, a century-old house, and all these things all together, it takes somebody special who can not just complain that, hey, I don't have this perfect piece of equipment, or I don't have this perfect piece of equipment. He looks at something. He looks at all these different pieces that we have available. And he said, let me see how I can hook these things up together. Donated equipment, cheap equipment, other type of equipment. And he says, how can we put this together to make something happen? How can we put this together to go and do remotes so that we can actually go to a coffee shop and give you Politics Done Right from a coffee shop? How can we give you an entire U-Talk from a bar? How can we do this to come into the community? You know what? That's what Brother Howard is able to do with the limited resources that he has. A jewel that we have here at KPFT, and that's bringing things bringing this show to you. So please give us a call at 713-526-5738, extension number 1 to contribute, and also kpft.org on the internet. Whatever you can to support. Remember, do select Politics Done Right as a program you're supporting to ensure that it is credited appropriately. And I don't want to not mention somebody that has come along and become a great volunteer. I've had breakfast with him as well, the Jack Van Beber, because he has come into the studio and he has really on a volunteer basis made things palatable for all of us, make things happen. Senor Jack Van Beber, we're coming close to the end of the show, so give me a closer, brother.
Money, cashola, bucks, gitas, bread, coins, ducats, dinero, dollar bills, pesos, large or small. We take it all.
Yeah, you forgot bread.
I had bread in there.
Oh, did you? Okay. Yeah,
bread. Oh, and thank you, Gonzalo, Richard, Susan, Christian, Mike, and Josephine, thank you for your contributions.
Absolutely. 713-526-5738. You still got time. 713-526-5738. Go ahead and hit number 1 so that you can contribute to the station. Look, I hate doing this. I'm going to tell you straight up. I hate that I have. Yes.
We all.
We hate doing this. We want to give just content that's going to make your life better, but to be able to give you content, we got to stay on air. So I ask you una vez más, one more time, 713-526-5738, extension number 1. Do it even as we close out the show. Go to kpft.org, and I have to ask you kindly and selfishly to go ahead and select Politics Done Right so that the people who count the numbers know that this show is in fact supported. Cannot do it without you. My name is, well, beforehand, real quick. Anything, Howard, anything, Jack, before I close, but we got to close right now.
Gotta go.
All right. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. You know how I end this, baby. I am what? Out.